Hey guys, it's me Nina and I'm back with this week's video. We have hit, my plant's still here, we have hit 1,000 subscribers, which is so awesome, a messed up mod dress. But I am so excited for that, and in celebration kind of, I'm gonna try to ramp up my upload speed. So my goal is 3 times per week. I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to do that, but I'm going to try because I like challenges. So 3 times per week, and then I'm a teacher, so in the summer I'm off. So hopefully I can keep that going at least through the summer. But we'll see. I feel like my original goal was like once a week, and then that was so hard. So maybe if I hold myself accountable to something even harder, then I could achieve it. But we'll see. Anyway, I recently wrote a blog post this past Monday about, what was it called? I can't even remember. The blog post says, or is asking, should Christian women dress modestly? And really, it was inspired, or the reason why I even wanted to do something like that to begin with was because of a video by this ministry called Girl Defined and their project called Project Modesty. And something I've been noticing for a while, what's funny is like when I first saw this video, I thought, man, I'm gonna hate this channel, but I subscribed anyway. I was just thinking I'm not gonna be able to connect with the people who are talking on there. They just seem so cookie cutter and nice and whatever. And I ended up loving their channel, so I don't know if they ever will see this video. And I actually commented on that video a long time ago, and one of my comments is one of the top comments. But I basically said that as a Christian woman, I couldn't relate to this video. And it's so interesting to look back on their video now, and now knowing them, I feel like the video doesn't bother me as much. Knowing them, I mean, I don't know them, but now after watching their ministry, and I even, Instagram chat, not Instagram chat, making it sound like we're friends, but I'll send, I think her name's Bethany Bayard, the girl from Girl Defined. I'll send her messages and she'll actually respond, which is really cool. So they seem like really down to earth, awesome people, and I really love just having that ministry as a young woman to look at. And I see a lot of parody videos about their ministry, and I think a lot of it's just like people who are not aware of Christian culture, or just what it's like to grow up as a Christian, and just the way that you're raised and some of the words that we use and the way that we approach things. It just seems weird, like someone was making fun of their channel saying how we go against the culture of the world, and they're like, how does that make any sense? And it's it doesn't make sense unless you grew up in the church or you're currently in the church and you're kind of taught and explained these different terms. But as much as I love them, their video, it's really hard for me because I want to love it now that I like them better, but I still don't agree with everything. And modesty is something that I still really struggle to understand. But I watched their video again because I'm like, I remember how I felt about it like a while back, but how do I feel about it now that some time has passed? And they started out like with something that was so true. They basically said that modesty really comes down to your heart. It's not about a set of rules. And I think that when I saw their outfits, instead of seeing like, oh, this is their tips and tricks, like you can take it or leave it, I kind of viewed like everything they were putting there as like, oh, you're doing it wrong because you're not wearing, like an example is they said instead of like short shorts, they wear Bermuda shorts. And to me, that's such an extreme. Like I can't even imagine I can imagine it, but it just seems so conservative. And growing up the way I did, I had to really fight to be able to wear sleeveless tops, and I don't feel like that's really, exposing like a tremendous amount of skin. But they were saying like, put a shirt underneath so that, it's not exposing too much. Or even as a woman, like worrying about things being like too tight or whatever, and they were saying like, put a scarf on top. And the whole idea behind it is you don't have to sacrifice fashion to look nice. But I just think about all these dresses that I find that are sleeveless, and the fact that that wouldn't be okay, And it's interesting because I think it's also important to just keep in mind that the society that we live in, it's not scandalous to wear a sleeveless top or regular shorts. Obviously, if you're like wearing like, I don't know, like some crazy strap situation and all your cleavage is showing and you're wearing short shorts, that will stand out, which is kind of the problem to begin with, drawing attention to yourself because of how you look like rather than who you are. And there's so much scriptures, and my blog post goes more into I guess like some of the things I saw like through the Bible about like what God has to say about our modesty and how we dress. And I think that it's really dangerous for us to make a set of rules. And the best example I have is myself. So growing up, I was allowed to wear like whatever I wanted until I hit puberty. So I would wear shorts, I would wear, you know, sleeveless tops, and it was hot, it was normal, so it wasn't a big deal. And I remember it was like such a sad day, and I still remember it because I just feel so bad when I think about it. But we had these family friends who would always come over, and we'd always hang out, you know, with their daughters, and their parents were always a part of our lives. And I don't even know if my family friend is if they end up watching it. I don't know if I think they watch my videos, but if they watch it, I wonder if they remember. But I was like 12 or 13 at the time, and I was just approaching that age where I was kind of, you know, going through puberty, my body's changing, whatever. And I was wearing shorts because prior to hitting puberty, it was fine for me to wear shorts. I have, you know, pictures of me as a kid and I was wearing shorts and it wasn't a big deal. And I feel like embarrassed even saying this, but I think it's something like that should be said because other people, I'm guessing, have dealt with it before too. But I went downstairs because our parents called, whenever guests come over, we always have food, you know, and it was dinner time, so they called us down for food, and I was wearing shorts. And there was, you know, an uncle, you know, the dad of the girls who were with, and my mom goes, do you think it's appropriate to be wearing shorts, you know, in front of this uncle? Or like, she didn't say something like that, or she was saying something like, you know, go change your shorts. But it was like under the assumption like I could wear it normally in my house, but because this man was here, like I shouldn't. And I remember he said, oh no, it's not a big deal. Like, and from what I remember, his daughters, like they were allowed to wear shorts. It wasn't a big deal or anything like that. But I didn't really think of, in the moment, I didn't feel so bad about it because I didn't realize that, you know, down the line, my parents were going to expect me to dress more modestly. But I ran up and changed into pants. And from the point I hit, you know, puberty and I was a woman, I was told, you know, can't wear tank tops, can't wear short shorts. And I also come from a conservative culture. I am from Kerala, India. My parents are from Kerala, India. And I remember I once wore capris there and was stared down. And so I think a lot of times it's also important to remember the environment that you're in. If I'm in Kerala, India and I'm wearing, you know, my short shorts or something like that, it doesn't look appropriate. And so my parents were enforcing those rules. But in America, I just couldn't participate in mainstream fashion or wear the things I wanted. So I took it to another extreme. When I went to college, I dormed and like went wild, or my version of wild. And I remember I went to this Christian camp, and the irony is it's a Christian camp, and I wore shorts, like athletic shorts, you know, they weren't tight or anything, and I wore a dress on top. And I untagged myself on Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to look at that. And I also deleted my old Facebook, so even if I didn't untag myself, like it was from so long ago that I wouldn't have it anyway. But I look at it and I cringe. I cannot believe that I thought it was acceptable to go out in public like that. But it was just because I had no idea what I was doing, and I was never really taught that, you know, it's about your heart or your environment or where you are. And it was hot and I thought, you know, wear this. And yeah, so modesty was something that I really struggled with, in part because I just didn't understand the reason why. So if you're a young woman, you're watching this, I want to encourage you to dress modestly, but to make those rules for yourself, because I think it's so dangerous when we make these black and white rules about things, because you can follow the rules and still not have the right heart, and then what's the point? So evaluate for yourself when you're going out. Am I dressing to draw attention to myself? And I just want to say, like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice, and I want us to be careful when we say to dress to cover ourselves for our Christian brothers or other men, because at the end of the day, I have friends, and like, especially being in an urban environment, like you walk around, I can be fully clothed. I have friends. I had this friend who I once like went shopping with, picked out a really cute dress with her, found her all these cute outfits, and she asked me to go shopping with her for that purpose. And she would never wear the dress we bought together. And I asked her, like, why won't you wear this dress? And she literally explained to me, I dress like a hobo. Like, I literally wear sweatpants to college every day, and I'm still catcalled constantly. And that's the problem with our society. You can literally be covered head to toe, and that's not going to change someone from thinking something that maybe you don't want them to think about you. So at the end of the day, fashion is something beautiful, you know. Obviously, if we were in, you know, our perfect creation, I don't think we'd even have to like worry about our clothes. But here on earth, I think it's a beautiful way to express yourself. But let's see how we can glorify God and think about what we're wearing from our heart, rather than just, you know, doing it because it's a rule or someone tells us to do it. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. What is your stance on modesty? Have you ever checked out their video, or do you watch their channel, Girl Defined? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree? Why or why not? Do you agree or disagree with me? But yeah, that's it.